Hello everyone, my name is Chandria. This is Chandria Carol Stitches. Sorry it's been about a month since I've filmed a video. We'll get into some details about why and just some life update things later. I have 11 FFOs to show you. 10, you can't see my StitchCon small just yet, so 10 that I can show you. I have a couple whips. I have another finish that's not an FFO yet. Just a couple things for haul. I have 3 books, and yeah, let's get into it. I'm super excited to have finally cleaned out my FFO bin. Things to fully finish that I've previously finished. I think I have 4 left in there that are not finished yet, like fully finished. So let's start with those. I have them all spread out on a table in front of me. I'm going to start with the one that is also a finish. So it's a finish, and then I went ahead and FFO'd it since you've seen it. This is Silver Bells by Lindy Stitches. I'll try to pop up a photo of where it was last time. And I turned this into a flat fold. So this is my first ever flat fold. That's how I wanted to finish my StitchCon small. So I wanted to finish one as a trial slash practice before I finished my StitchCon small that way. I followed Pfeiffer's tutorial. It went fine. I had some practice, well, plenty of practice lacing pieces. She still had a couple tips that I wasn't really doing, so learned a few things there. And then, of course, the overall how to finish flat fold was spectacular. This is really similar to finishing just a flat like an ornament or something like that. The only difference is remembering in your step to do the part at the top that attaches your backing pieces, and then the ribbon. But yeah, it went well. Super happy with that. Again, this is Silver Bells by Lindy Stitches. It's stitched on 32 count white Lugana that I got at either Joann's or Michael's. I think it was Michael's. Really, really, really stiff. Not sure I'd recommend that. And also I had stitched this with the Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses. This is as called for. And the fabric, I couldn't wash it after I was done, because again, these were some hand-dyed threads. And it was so thick that it doesn't lay super nicely. I mean, it looks fine. I could always put some trim on it to hide that if I wanted to. But you can kind of see, like, it just didn't lay flat very well, because it was just so thick. But anyway, looks great. Super happy with it. And then the rest of these are in no particular order. I do want to get one out of the way though, so I went ahead and finished a birthday gift. So if your name starts with A and you relatively frequently get gifts from me, just fast forward about 2 minutes or you're going to be spoiled for your birthday present. So this is a Mill Hill kit that's pizza. It's pizza. I think it's just called Pizza Slice. And I finished it just as an ornament. some baker's twine. I used sticky felt, and this is one where I screwed up. I forgot to put the hanger in between the sticky felt and the ornament, so it just has a janky hot glued thing. You know what? It'll look fine hanging up. But yeah. Next. This one is another one I'm not thrilled about, but circles are hard, so it is what it is. This is Ghost Kitty by Haunted Frames Stitchery. This is stitched on 16 count Mediterranean Sea Aida by, I think it's by Zweigart. Oh my gosh. Sorry, hair caught in my earring. Mediterranean Sea Aida, it's either Witchelt or Zweigart, but I think it's Zweigart. Next, I love this so much. This is Toilet Ghost by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. This is stitched on 32 count Black Lugana by Zweigart. And this is a, I got this on clearance right after the holidays, and it had, like, it was supposed to sit like this and it said Noel. Well, it's gonna sit like this and have a ghost sitting on the toilet playing on its phone. This is so going in the bathroom year round. Love it so much. Let's get some of these big ones. I'm so thrilled with this. This is Mon Cher Cara Mia by the Witchy Stitcher. This is Life's a Peach by BeStitchMe. Pretty sure. If not, I'll correct myself. It'll also be down in the description. But it's BeStitchMe 32 count linen. This was a Patreon exclusive, I believe, in January. It should be coming up for sale on her shop relatively soon. I'm not sure when, but... So this is finished on a canvas. I've got some batting between it and the canvas just to make it a little squishy. And it's not perfect, but like the back, it's literally like hot glued around the edges of the canvas. I don't care. It's fine. I couldn't really find a frame that was the perfect size to put this in, and I love this fabric, so I wanted to use as much of it around the edges as possible. And so I found this canvas that I had and was like, perfect, I'm done. One that a little bit more effort went into the finishing. This is Every Bunny Do the Hop by Lizzie Kate. I have no idea why I like this so much. It's just absolutely, sorry, that's clacking, absolutely adorable. I got this at Michael's. You can actually take this panel out. So if I wanted to use this for something else, this is all like glued in here, so I can't take these out, but I could still pop the whole panel out if I wanted to. So this was like unstained wood, untreated. I painted it white, sprayed a acrylic sealant on it. This is stitched with all the called for threads. I think they're all Gentle Arts. And this is stitched on 32 count Summer Sky Lugana, I think. Again, if not, I'll correct myself down below. And then I had to get creative with this because, so obviously I didn't have enough fabric to completely fill this out. And I didn't have enough of this backing fabric that I wanted to use to go like all the way across underneath and then cut this down a little bit more up here. So this is 2 separate small panels. And then this portion in between is actually just completely empty between the actual stitched piece and these two. Looks fine. That bunny fabric was just too cute and I wanted to use it, so we got a little creative. Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this. Okay, one other framed piece. This is stinking cute. Oh, I think this is by Franny Ritter. This was from a Just Cross Stitch magazine. Not sure which one. I'll have all that down below. This frame is something that my grandma got for me at a charity shop. I told her she loves to go and just look through those, so I gave her something to look for. Like, hey, any frames you find, especially if they're cheap, just go ahead and get them. I will find something, and this one was just so perfect. This is stitched on 32 count Nightshade linen by BeStitchMe, and I don't think I used any of the called for threads other than like the black and white. I think I pulled just leftover scrap threads on this. Oh, it's so cute. And this is another one that's just gonna go up all year round. It's technically Valentine's. That's fine. It's cute. And I think my last 3, yeah, I think I've showed everything else. My last 3 are pillows. Stack some of these up. Get out of my way. Okay, so first we have Not a Creature. I think it was Not a Creature Was Stirring when it was in the magazine. This is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Not a Creature Inside, that's it. So I think that's what it's called on their website. But I had this from a magazine. It was stitched on a mystery linen, and it is tiny. It's 40 count or more. I used one strand and it was very good coverage. I think I used most of the called for colors. I did a little bit of a conversion on the little mouse itself. I think it had like a different color belly, so it's a tad bit different, but mostly the called for. I know that the letters, I think, were Weeks Monkey Grass, but this one's filled with walnut shells. For my really, really tiny pillows, I like to stuff them with walnut shells because I think it just gives them more like heft, and if you use it as a pin cushion, it'll also sharpen your pins. The shells will, as you put them in, take them out. Over time it keeps them sharp. But I just think that they sit better, the itty bitty ones. So, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, Not a Creature in Sight. And then these last two, now these are just stuffed with polyfill. So this one is by the Blue Flower, and oh my gosh, I don't remember the exact name. I only, the actual design had like some berries and I think leaves going around the kitty, but I just did the kitty. I think I may have changed the color a little bit on its sweater. This is stitched on 32 count Chai Love You by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and it's opalescent. I don't know if you can see it whatsoever, but it is opalescent. And this one's another Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery with a cat hair already on it. This is Snow Much Fun at the North Pole, which apparently they have actually gotten like people telling them, hey, I don't know if you know this, but there are no penguins at the North Pole. But yeah, Snow Much Fun at the North Pole. I also got this from a magazine, but you can find it on their website. This is stitched on 28 count Lugana. I think I picture this plus. I'll have it down below. I'm doing like really bad with all of these, but I don't want to take forever in between each thing to look it up on my Notion. I do remember that I changed the color of the base of the snow globe and the like glass. I don't remember what color they were, but I just used like extra kit threads on that. It's okay. Okay. That's it for my FFOs. Let's go on to finishes. Okay. I just have one, but I have them stored together, so I'll go ahead and show both of these. It was a plan for last time for me to do, I had 4 projects that I was relatively close to finishing, and I wanted to try to like finish one each week. Well, I've got 2 of the 4 done. And it's what? The 27th? We'll see if I can get the 3rd one. I don't know. It's been a rough month. But this is the 2nd one. This is N is for Narwhal by Hands On Design. This one is part of the Polar Plunge series. But this one in particular is the charity pattern that you buy in PDF form off of their website. The proceeds go to the Special Olympics. All of the other patterns you can get in paper form from your ONS or LNS. So yeah, this is N is for Narwhal, and all of the threads are as called for, but I stitched it on 32 count Sea Spray linen by Seraphim instead of the Polar Plunge by Fabrics by Stephanie. That's the called for fabric. So yeah, I have 2 of these done now. N is for Narwhal, and the polar bear one, I don't remember what the name of that one is. There's the little polar bear. So I don't want to finish these until I have the whole set, and then I'll finish them all at once, just so that they're as consistent as I possibly can make them. So these will go back in my storage bin until the next time, until they're all done, and the next time that I'm ready to get some FFOs done. Okay. I don't have any new starts. I had planned on having new starts, but we did not get around to those. That's okay. I still have a giant whip pile It's fine. I don't need new starts anyway. Whips. I worked on 2. Let's start with the smallest one. So I don't have any, just a side note, I don't have any really fancy project bags. I either make them myself, I have some Black Needle Society ones, and that's it. So I don't really talk about my bags, but this is one that I made myself. If they're cute, I'm gonna show them. We'll see. But what I worked on was Nevermore by Satsuma Street. This is the kit. I know you can get these as PDFs, just the pattern, but I like the perforated paper and it comes all ready to go, so I like that. I'll pop up a photo of where it was last time, if I have one. This may, yeah, so never mind, no I won't. I think I had 200 stitches on it, or so, and thought I had a photo, so I didn't take one, got my stitching done, realized I did not have a photo, so apologies, but here is what we have now. If you can't see this whatsoever. Maybe? No, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you can see. There, you can just see my arm through too. I'm not sure how many I got done on this guy. I got several hundred stitches though. They're not super big patterns, but I got most of the bird done and started on the skull. That's what it's gonna look like. I pulled this out because I saw that Wicked Cat Stitch was hosting Murder May, and so you could either do something that was like crows, because a group of crows is called a murder. Crows or ravens, I don't remember which one, but a group of them is called a murder. Or you could do something that was murder themed and some other, like, I think the Witchy Stitcher has a pattern called the Chopping Mall that's like based on horror movies. So you could do something like that too. But I chose this one because I already had it as a whip with, again, like 200 stitches. So thought I'd get some work done on it. And then the only other whip that I have worked on since last time is going to be my Deadly Aquarium. So, the frame and the first part have come out so far. First exhibit just came out a few days ago. Not there yet. Surprise, surprise. Don't think I could keep up with anything if my life depended on it. I finally got my Notion up. I got almost 600 stitches on Nevermore. So anyway, Deadly Aquarium. I'll give you some stats on this. So I'll put up a photo of the frame plus the first exhibit, and then I think I should have a photo of what I had last time. And then let's try to move this hanging thread out of the way. Here is where we are now. So I went ahead and put in all my progress on the first exhibit pattern keeper file from, hold up. This is the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. It's an ongoing stitch along, so only the frame and the first part's out. This is stitched on 32 count Lagoon linen by Fiber on a Whim. And now for the stats part. I am 59.91, so pretty much 60% done with everything that has been released so far. So that includes Exhibit 1, which is a little under 1,000 stitches, and the frame itself was a little over 6,000. So I have stitched 4,169 stitches out of 6,959. I could easily go ahead and right over here is where the first exhibit came out at. So I could easily go ahead and get started on that. I just was trying to catch up on the frame first. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot more to say about it other than I'm super excited about the first release. It was a moray eel coming out of a treasure chest. So cute. Oh, get my thoughts in order. My brain's catching up. Haven't finished my coffee yet. The frame is honestly probably going to be the most boring part of the whole thing, so I really don't want to let myself get to the good parts until I power through these 500 stitches each for these columns. And it's easy, it's just kind of boring, so I want to go ahead and get caught up on this. And I have been pretty decent on not stitching a bunch of other things and really stitching on this. I haven't had as much stitching time as I expected this month, so I still, even though I've mostly been focusing on this, I'm still not where I want to be, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's all my whips. Get my list up. Okay. I have a couple things for haul, and I'm gonna do those before plans just because it's only a couple things. I've got my fabric of the months. I've got, first we have BeStitchMe. This is for April because they ship at the end of the month and I hadn't received it last time. This is April Showers, 32 count linen, and it is spectacular. That's pretty true, I think. It maybe looks a little bit more true blue, where it's definitely like a sky blue in person. It is like definitely like the modeling and everything just looks like a beautiful cloudy sky. That's that one. And then the other one I'm in is Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. This one is for May, so if you haven't received yours yet, skip ahead a minute or so. I get 18 count Ada from Fiberlicious, and this is called Memories in the Rain, and that's pretty true. It's like a periwinkle blue with some greenish brownish splotches. Yeah. And then last, I'm in the Endangered Species Club from Lindy Stitches. So every other month I get a package with the pattern, the threads for the pattern, and a sticker. So just a quick recap. The first one was the Amur leopard. The second was the African savanna elephant. And Stephanie also came out with a video tutorial on how to do this, I think it's the herringbone stitch. And then I just received, and I don't know if it's posted anywhere, so if you are wanting to stay spoiler free, this just came in a few days ago for me, so move ahead if you don't want to be spoiled. But it is the North Atlantic right whale. I haven't started any of these yet. I have the leopard, which was the first one. I have that one fully kitted, and I have all the, so like these are the overdyes that just came with the whale, spore skeins, 3 weeks in one classic color works, but oh my gosh, this salt glaze, it's like a blue to gray. I don't know if you can see it at all, but that's really pretty. I think all of these are pretty variegated, so I think they're probably worth getting, which is really nice. Like, she seems to be pretty intentional because they're not all overdyes. You do still need like 10 DMC colors, and I appreciate that. They add up, especially if you try to buy the called for and not pull from stash. So, yeah. And then you also get a sticker. What did I do with the stickers? I think my elephant one is somewhere else, but you get a sticker. Super cute. It's really affordable, which is really nice, since it doesn't come with fabric or any of the DMCs or anything. Which also, and I guess the first one was a mistake, so for the leopard one, I did not get a PDF pattern. I only got the physical, but for the other two, I have gotten a PDF pattern as well as the physical. You can also do the PDF only option and not get a physical, not get the threads or the physical pattern, but apparently if you get the physical, you also get the PDF, which is nice because I'm going to put it in Pattern Keeper anyway, so it's mostly for the threads that I'm in the club, but they're really pretty patterns, so. Plants. Mostly I still have the same plans as last time. I wanted to, I've still got 2 more patterns that I wanted to attempt to finish. We'll see where I get on those. They are pretty small, so I've been traveling a lot for work this month, and those are easy to like pull out in the hotel room. I am extra and actually pack my Lowry stand when I go on work trips, and I have gotten some good stitching in on a couple of days, but sometimes I'm too tired, and it's always just kind of nice to sit in bed with some Flosstube and just have a small. So those may or may not get finished, I don't know. I would like to still clear out those 2 small whips, but we'll see. I do still want to start Light by Barbara Anna for Stitches and Spooky's 40th birthday. That is the hashtag for that is Foxy40Sow. I do still want to work on Halloween Fairy by Nora Corbett for Mira May. I may be late. It is what it is. But after pulling it out to show you last time, I'm itching to get back to it. So it was good for me to at least pull it out and tell you that it was a plan, because now I want to work on it. I looked at it, held it, saw where I was, and now I want to get back to it. So I still will work on that, even if I don't get to that till June. And then another whip that I'm going to pull out for Stephanie of Cross Stitch the Globe's 40th birthday. The hashtag for that is Hello 40Sow. So she is working on a specific Hello from Liz Matthews piece, but for the Sow you can work on anything Liz Matthews. So I'm pulling out, what is this? Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews, which is the only one that I already have as a whip, and I didn't want to start anything new. So we're going to pull this one out. Which, now that it's starting to get hot for the summer, I'm ready for it to be fall. So I'm fine pulling this out. Let's see. I'll show you where I'm at on that. So this is stitched on 32 count Sand Dollar by Linen by BeStitchMe. I think this is the right way up. I have a good, I don't know, 100 stitches, maybe 200. The needleminder is from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's pretty much going to take up the whole fat quarter, so I didn't cut this. And I'm using the Forbidden Fiber Co. Floss conversion. Yeah. So, I'm gonna pull that out. I don't think that was supposed to start until June. Not sure the date, honestly, but probably won't be on time anyway. I had another new start that I wanted to get to, which was Nostalgic Tarot by the Witchy Stitcher. I think June is when she releases 2 more of the tarot cards. So maybe I'll get my button gear and get that started. I saw that Hillary of Subpar Stitches did go ahead and get hers started. So again, I'm itching to get started on mine. The colors are fabulous. I hope I popped up a photo for you so you know what I'm talking about. And I also have fully kitted and ready to go the Arctic Animals Stitch Along by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I just didn't get around to starting mine yet. As far as active sows go, my priority is going to be the Deadly Aquarium. So that's why I have let other things go to the wayside. The stitching that I really got done, which Nevermore wasn't a plan, but it's really easy to stitch on perforated paper, so I just sort of slid that in for some hotel room stitching. But as far as my actual time to sit down and dedicate time to stitching has all been Deadly Aquarium. I really want to keep up with that one. So this one, I'll get to it when I get to it. I do have a printed out copy of the first release. So this is, again, Arctic Animals. Is it Arctic Animals or Arctic Friends? Arctic Animals, yeah. So I've seen some people call it Arctic Friends. Same difference, doesn't really matter. That's the first clue. It's absolutely adorable. I just haven't got around to it yet. I have all the fabric, my fabric cut, the floss pulled and everything. I'm doing that on Maldives by Fiberlicious. I did, last time I didn't show you because I hadn't got it yet. I got my little accoutrement in the mail. So I ordered the treasure braid, the narwhal scissor fob, look at it, and the needleminder, which is a puffin with a telescope. I also got the stickers. I know there's more stickers. There we go. Which are just absolutely precious. The my husband and I on our one of our first vacations together went to Bar Harbor, Maine, and we went on a puffin excursion. So, and I've always loved penguins, so I really love puffins now because of that. It was just, it brings back all of those really fun memories of that vacation. And he got some amazing photos. He's a photographer, among other things. He wears many hats, but he rented a giant camera lens for this vacation. We did some hiking, and of our 2 backpacks, I had all of the supplies because his backpack was almost entirely full of camera gear. So yeah, just so many fun memories. And so I really wanted these stickers. So, but here's the puffin sticker. And they also came with the polar bear and the Arctic Animals Club. It also, there's a pretty postcard, and then like a thick cardstock that you can hole punch for a thread keeper, which I probably won't use. And then this is actually, it says a cross stitcher lives here, and it's really pretty, but when you peel it off and stick this on, it's meant for like a window or a patio door or something where light's gonna shine through. Okay, well, I can't get it, but it has these, I don't know how to describe it, but like iridescent sections to it, so that when the sun shines through after you've stuck it on a window or something, it forms like little prisms of light. I think I got one of these for Castle Homecoming too, but I don't quite remember. I thought it was really cool, but I didn't actually stick it because I have paranoia of actually sticking stickers. I have a sticker book that I stick stickers that I don't want to actually stick and keep them there. So I don't know. I know that's very weird, but what can I say? So yeah, that's the plans. I think that's it. Let's do some shoutouts. So, thanks to Stephanie and Allison of Cross Stitch the Globe, I discovered the Hathaway Stitchers, who are Erinn and Amity. They are like really close to me. I had no idea. I'm super excited. I hope to meet them at StitchCon Weekend A. But yeah, that's fabulous and all, but they're also a really great channel, even if you don't happen to live close to them. They are just a riot. You can tell when they're filming that they have so much fun, and it's hilarious. I was watching, I was in a hotel room watching, and whoever was in the room next to me just probably thought I was nuts because I was just laughing. I had headphones in, so I just was cackling away in the hotel room. But yeah, they seem to have a lot of fun. There's a lot of birds on their channel, so if you really like bird stitching, you can join the bird herd. Birds are fine and all, but they really like birds, especially Amity. But yeah, just, oh my gosh, so much fun. There's a good variety of stitching that they do as well, like a good variety of projects. Oh my gosh. Amity, she designs her own patterns. She goes by Boomerang Stitches on Instagram and also her Etsy store, and she has some really cool patterns. One of them is a Jaws, like Christmas sampler. So cool. Moving on, I have another couple people I want to talk about. The first is Wicked Cat Stitch. Cat. She is also hilarious, and I love that she doesn't take herself too seriously. I love her projects. I think that I have an insane variety of what I stitch on, but our overlap seems to be more of the spookier things with Kat. She also has an Etsy store where she sells crocheted octopi, and she recently, I saw on Instagram, she recently started selling needleminders. So she's the one who did the Murder May hashtag. Yeah, go check her out. She's a hoot. And so lastly, I'd like to shout out someone who is a pretty big name in Flosstube, I think, but she recently just came back after a pretty long hiatus. It's Evelyn Across the Pond. Evelyn, she has a lot of projects similar to mine, like Lindy Stitches and the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. She's just so upbeat and seems like such a sweet person. She also does a lot of knitting, and it's been really cool seeing the knitwear that she does. So I'm not that big of a knitter, but the whole reason why I wanted to learn knitting in the first place was for garment making, like clothes and sweaters and socks and that sort of thing, not the hats and scarves, which are fine, but the main thing I wanted to get to was to get good enough to be able to do some of the more garmenty things. And she's got quite a few that she has shown and talked about on her channel. So yeah, if you haven't already heard of her, go check her out. And then lastly is just a huge thank you. I think everyone knows them, but Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching shouted me out a couple weeks ago. I really appreciate it. I couldn't believe it. And again, I think everyone knows who they are, but if you don't, go check them out. Okay, so we'll move on to other crafts. I have just a little knitting update, speaking of knitting, and then a little bit of sewing. So, get my knitting out. So where I've been traveling for work, I prefer to knit on planes because I just think it doesn't take as much room. Like, I can stay pretty contained instead of have my crap everywhere for stitching. So I've been working on a shawl. I got this as a kit from Forbidden Fiber Co. It's called the Lost Woods Shawl by Justine Chanel, something like that. And my pattern is so beat up, but you can kind of see there. Yeah, I have looked for this to be able to like link it. I don't know if it was never released outside of the kit, or if maybe it's under a different name. I don't know, but I've not been able to find that to link that. But looks like I'm in the middle of a row. This is what we have. So this starts in the corner. Every other row you increase, and it just turns into an asymmetrical shawl. When you saw it last, I had just finished this row of slip stitch crosses. So I have done from here all the way up since you saw me last. All of it in planes. And let's see. I think I'm on the last bit with the green, and then that color is completely done. And there's one more color that's not in here. And it's like a mustardy, this color. Hasn't been used yet. So the green will phase out, this phases in. I probably will have another, I don't know, I think I've only got one more trip until July, so you may not see this for a couple months, but I thought I had a decent enough progress to go ahead and talk about it this time. And then the other craft I want to talk about was sewing. So for StitchCon, something that's pretty common are to bring table gifts. It's not expected, it's not required, it's just nice, and I really want to give back, and it makes me happy to give people things and see like a smile on their face, and especially for crafters, giving people handmade gifts is always sort of hit or miss on whether they'll appreciate it or not, but with a fellow crafter, you know that they know what goes into it and appreciate it more, which, what goes into it? I am not that great of a sewer here. You know how they say product stitcher versus process stitcher? Well, I'm a product sewer. I want the end result. I don't really care that much about the process. I would go so far as to say I don't like the process, especially the fact that it takes you probably an hour of prep for every 10 minutes of actual sewing. Why is it called sewing? Why isn't it called prepping for sewing? Anyway, if you ever see me sewing for fun, it's time to put me out to pasture. But sewing for the product, we'll get behind that. So again, I have sewn some product bags, so I can sew effectively. I wouldn't say great, I would just say effectively. I can get the product. So this is actually what I'm doing for my table gifts. This is an orb catcher. So I haven't actually sewed on the buttons, but these fold down. A button goes here to hold it down. It can sit flat. You put your orts in there. And then for travel, it will lay flat to go in your project bag. So yeah. I've been sewing, well, I've been cutting a lot of fabric and ironing a lot of fabric and just a tad bit of sewing. I think that's it, other than a little bit of life update. And if you care whatsoever, I am going to talk a little bit about taxidermy. I've had some people curious about some of the things going on in my background, and if you think that this is interesting, well, let me tell you about some of the other interesting things that we have in our house. So we have some taxidermy. The way we got into this whole thing, my father-in-law went through a little bit of a midlife crisis, and he's always lived in cities his whole life, so he's never, I take that back, there was a short time in the Poconos. Mostly lived in cities his entire life, definitely for like the past 30-40 years. He decided to join a hunting lodge. Now don't get me wrong, I'm from Kentucky. I'm from a relatively small town in Kentucky. Hunting and things like that, just a common everyday occurrence. I think definitely every male and a lot of the females had all been hunting by the time that, you hit definitely middle school. Nothing new there. But this is Memphis, Tennessee, and this is a person who had never really done anything with this sort of sport before he just joined a hunting lodge. So anyway, I don't want to get too much into the ethics of hunting. We could probably have a good debate about that, but I will say that I'm not a fan of sport hunting, of just shooting something to literally only taxidermy it or have a trophy of some sort. But luckily, my father-in-law mostly shoots things that you can eat, and that I really don't have a problem with, especially deer. The population booms and has to be kept in check. So if you're going to hunt it and eat it, I'm really not against that. It's just, I'm gonna hunt it and leave it lying there after I chop the horns off. Now I've got a problem. But anyway, yeah, he mostly only shoots things that he actually takes to a butcher and gets the meat from to go eat. So anyway, though, with this hunting lodge, not everybody is like that. A lot of them do some sport hunting. And it varies. I mean, a lot of these things you have to get special permits for. For example, if a mountain lion or something, they have one in the area, they know it needs to, like the Fish and Wildlife Service says, okay, we need to kill X amount of animals, they'll offer up the permit to hunters. And your permit essentially says, okay, I can shoot this, I have a permit for one, whatever the animal is. Anyway, I mean, I've never done anything like this. I've only heard this secondhand. I've never looked into any of this for myself, but that's the way it's been explained to me. So, anyway, the people that he goes to this hunting lodge with and goes on these hunting retreats with, shoot a variety of things. Well, they don't always get their creatures in the condition that they want to turn them into taxidermy or trophy or whatever. So he has been known to save some of these pieces. So the one I'm going to show you was that sort of scenario. A fella come back from the hunting retreat and had killed a bobcat, but the way it was shot, he couldn't like do a full I guess a full mount. I don't know. But so my father-in-law was like, what are you gonna do with that? And he's like, I don't know, there's not a lot I can do with it. And so my father-in-law is like, well, if you don't want it, I'll take it. So he's like, yeah, sure, have at it. So he takes it to the taxidermy place and they make him this. This is, I'll show you, so like, it's like a shoulder piece. I have a bobcat. I have a bobcat taxidermy in my house. I love it. I love it so much. I'm not one of those people who's going, okay, I've never shot an animal in my life, really. So I don't, nothing in our house we have actually shot. There's a couple of things that we have actually found, like the hermit crab shell. It was already dead on the beach from seagulls. So we found the shell, cleaned it, lacquered it. Okay, my husband. I didn't do any of this. It was all him. So that's how we got that. That is actually a duck up there. Same sort of saved situation, like they just didn't want it. So he brought that home. The brown thing over there is actually rat skulls. So we have pet rats, and as a pet owner, one of the biggest conundrums is when they pass, what do you do? Especially as a renter where you don't own a yard to go bury them. The way that we did this is buried them in houseplants. So each of the houseplants, we would get a new one, it would be a new type, and we would essentially name it after the pet rat that was buried in it. Well, our plants got fungus gnats and had to be repotted. And out came the rat skeletons. And it just felt awful to be like, well, now what? Like, now what are we gonna do? Because we don't just want to throw them in the trash. So we got the skulls, cleaned them, and they are in this like curio box with the name of the rat and the plant information card that they go with, like that they were originally buried in. And so now they're immortalized on our shelves. We did our own little foray into taxidermy. We took a class. So we have a friend who goes to the Oddities and Curiosities expos as a vendor. They like travel around the country going to these expos. So any of the ones that come close to us, we usually go and support them. And we have seen just a lot of stuff, right? So one of these we went to, they had a taxidermy class. So for our anniversary, 1 year, I think this was 2 years ago now, we took a taxidermy class together. So we each taxidermied a rabbit. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think it was easy. I thought that, you can learn, there's probably a lot of like technical skill involved. There's more artistic skill than there is technical skill involved in this. And it is a long and arduous process. Mad respect for anybody that does taxidermy. So anyway, I have our rabbits that I thought I would show you. They normally sit in the middle, like right above my head, but I got them down to show you and tell you. I don't know if anyone will care. I don't know if people are gonna just think I'm absolutely just bonkers weird over here, but like who takes a taxidermy class with their husband for their anniversary besides me? I don't know, but so yeah, these are atrocious. One is more atrocious than the other, but anyway, this one's mine. And you had the option of also getting like antlers to make them into jackalopes. So they're both jackalopes as well. It's so soft. The hides that we got were already cleaned and cured. Is that what you call it? They came wet with all of the like chemicals to preserve them already added. So we picked up from the stage where you create the shape that the skin goes over. We put in the eyes. We learned how to pin the ears, the mouth, how to form everything. And that's where I'm saying the artistic talent comes in, because you have to be able to shape the form that's inside the skin so that it sits realistically when you put the skin over it. So what most people do, I guess, is they try to carve into this like hard bone stuff, like an anatomical, like what it would look like without the skin, and then you put the skin over it. So we learned all about that. Like I said, it's so soft. You have to really, really brush the fur out, or it just stays like matted and clumped from like all the chemicals. But yeah, so this one's mine. I didn't name it or anything. I really didn't shape it very well, but you know what? You look at it, it's a rabbit, right? And then there's my husband's. He had a little bit of a harder time. I mean, don't get me wrong, this was hard. We were both very ready to go home by the time this class was over, but he had so many issues with his. So here's his. You can tell it's a rabbit, but it also looks like it was taxidermied and then hit by a car. Feel so bad making fun of him. It was really difficult. It was really, really difficult to do this. Never gonna do that again. We had a wild hair before we took this class that maybe we'll taxidermy our rats and that's how we can preserve them. Nope, not gonna happen. because I don't know these bunnies. We were assured they were ethically sourced. I don't know how. I didn't really look too deep into that, but I can't imagine a pet that you know, loved and cared for having to skin it. Even if it is to eventually have like the likeness of it to, you know, pet and look, and having the end result, I'm all for. I will never do it. I don't think I could be the one to skin my pet. So yeah, we may have their skulls over there, but we also didn't, it wasn't big, we didn't just behead them and throw them in there. There was a reason, and it was more of, well, now we've got these skeletons that we don't just want to throw in the trash. Like, what are we going to do? Like, how can we honor our pets while we're stuck in this situation? Top deal. It was not planned. Like, we really sort of fell into all of this. What else we got? I think I've probably talked way too much about taxidermy for you, so I guess I'll tell you a little bit about why I have not, didn't have too much stitchy progress, and then I'll let you go if you're not into books, talk about my books, and be done. But we haven't had air conditioning in our house for almost a month. In the summertime. And it's been pretty rough. The first, like, almost a week, it was just pretty humid, but the temperature wasn't insane, so it was livable. We were told by the AC people that came and looked at it, we had two different opinions, and they both said the same thing was wrong, and that they needed to order a part. Well, it was supposed to be 4 to 10 days. On like day 12, because day 10 was on a weekend or like Friday or something, so I just waited till the following Monday. We asked for an update. They hadn't ordered the part. I mean, they came and did like a little slapjack type repair to give us a couple days reprieve as an apology for not ordering the part. But again, it was going to be like another probably 2 weeks until the part came in. Well, we're still waiting. It should be in within the next week, but we ended up getting a portable, where we live, our HOA doesn't allow window units, not to mention the way the windows are, a window unit won't work, so we got like a portable AC unit that has been a godsend. That's why I was able to get this finishing done this weekend, and the rest of the time up until we got some fans, but it's still just blowing hot air, so you just get lethargic. You don't want to do anything. And I felt so awful for my husband because I was in and out traveling for work, so I would get to sit in this nice, pretty cool hotel room while he is just in a swamp. The plants have loved it. We have not. Like, we have a giant monstera that has put out a new leaf. But yeah, we've been miserable. This week is supposed to not get above 80, so we're hoping that, you know, just with the unit and with it not being so hot outside, we'll make it through. But yeah, it's really impacted my just my productivity in any form or fashion. It wasn't that I just didn't want to stitch. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to lay there. I didn't even read much. I only read 3 books. Which I guess I'll get into. But yeah, it's been rough, but we're on the tail end of it, hopefully. I'm gonna think positive, and then things will go back to normal. If you leave me here, if you haven't left me already, because I know I've been rambling and you probably don't care about my taxidermy, but it makes me happy to talk about, so I figured I would at least mention it, and especially because some people had asked about some of the crap on my walls. But yeah, if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Every single time I look at like somebody that's viewed, look at like the view count, I just can't believe that many people want to watch me talk about my craft here, and it just makes me so happy. So thank you so much. If you're still here and want to hear about books, I'm gonna carry on. Again, I only have 3. One of them I sort of previewed last time. I was reading A Master of Djinn by P. J. Lay Clark. This was absolutely fabulous, and I wish there was, you know how a lot of fantasy books have a series that's gone on for probably 20 years, or, you know, just so many books. I wish there were more books in this series. I have a few more things by this author queued up and ready to go on my Libby app. I just haven't started them yet because I'm trying to clear out some of the series that I'm already like halfway in the middle of, but I'll have to check out some more by this author and wish that there was more in this specific series. But it is fantasy, but it's also steampunk. It is set in Cairo in around 1920, 1930 time frame, but again, in like a steampunk alternate history type era. It follows the main character who works for the Bureau of good lord, it's been too long. Something supernatural entities. Essentially, it's like the probably like the FBI of supernatural things. And she is attempting to solve a crime of a entire cult being murdered. Like, I don't know, like 30 people at a cult meeting all get murdered. There are jinn, there are a few other supernatural creatures, but mostly it's jinn. The main premise of this whole world is that sometime around like the late 1900s, early 20th century, a mystic punctured the layer between the different realms and opened the world up to supernatural entities, the majority of which seem to be jinn. So they have really helped with the inventions, and that's how you get the like steampunk vibe, is they are very good inventors, very good with like clockwork type things. It's just so good. never thought I would be into this sort of thing, but oh, so good. Yeah, that's about it. I'll just hope the guy writes more. The next book, this one I actually heard about on Instagram. I'm just scrolling through, had a reel recommended to me that was of a person building a book nook or book room for their wife. And I'm like, oh, this is cute, you know. And so they're building this thing, and then at the end they're like, well, I gotta include her books. And then it pans to like the books that she's written, of which the covers were gorgeous. So she was tagged in it. I clicked on that and immediately was like, sounds great, looks wonderful. Add that to my Libby holds list. And it came up, so I went ahead and read it. This one in particular is called A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. I think I said that right. This one is set in a, I would say maybe like a Victorian era. It's obviously based on England. It's called something else, but it is based on England. It's called Atenia, and the main characters, really, there's two of them, are both brown-skinned immigrants in a very white, like pro-white culture of this time period. So it's about her, well, both of them. It's like a brother and a sister. And it's about them coming up from nothing and how they did it. But, well, I guess I can't really say that, because at the point that you meet them, they're already kind of up. So they both were orphans and started a like ragtag group of other outcasts, and eventually built a tea room that is really well known, but it's right on the border between, like, it's not really high society, but it is really, like, it sort of like straddles the line between the lower class and the higher class. Like, it's fancy, but, and all walks of life go there. So that's during the day. And during the night, it is a illegal blood house for vampires, where instead of tea, they serve blood. Shocking, right? The monarch of this England decides to go after them and try to take down their tea house. These two, the brother and sister, they're not good people. They have done quite a few bad things. Not murder, but like a lot of blackmail, a lot of breaking kneecaps, that sort of thing, to get to where they are. They're very ruthless, but they're also still, they still care. Like, the people that they, I would say, kind of take advantage of are the people who you can kind of feel like they deserve it. So, this was really interesting because, I'm sorry. So anyway, it comes under attack, and they are trying to save their tea house because that's like what they see as the pinnacle of what they have built and how far they've come from literally being homeless in the gutter. So this was really interesting because I really enjoyed the cultural aspect of it. Like, the author is obviously writing sort of her own, I'm not sure the best way to describe it. So the main character, the main female lead, came to this England stand-in from a small island nation that had been taken over during colonialism by England. And there's a lot of emotions and a lot of discussion on the negative aspects of this time period. And I thought that was really well done, while also not being too preachy, and especially from the point of view that you're getting it from. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, to have found this book on Instagram, I thought it was really good. This is the first, I believe, of a duology. It just came out either last year or early this year. So I'll have to wait a while to find out what happens. It's sort of, I wouldn't say a cliffhanger, but you're definitely like itching to read the next one after this one ends. So I'll have to wait a while, but I'm going to go ahead and read some more about this author. I think she's got another duology out already. So eventually I'll read those. I think, my TBR is like a Hydra. You read one and add 10 to your to your list. And then the last one I want to talk about is one that I read kind of on a whim. I really am not... I do remember how I found this one. I was on Goodreads, and it was one of the like banners at the top, and it looked good. So I looked it up on Libby. It was ready for checkout, so I went ahead and checked it out, and then I was laying on the couch in the heat, not wanting to do anything, and just pulled that one up and read it in one sitting. It's called The Forest of Stolen Girls. Let me get the author up. June Her, by June Her. And this one was really interesting. So this one is a historical, it's set in around the year 1430 in Korea. But the way that it's written, it could have been, like, it could be any time period. I mean, some of the things, like, the fact that they're walking everywhere, there's no, like, cars, there's no electronics and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, sure, you can tell it's more historical, but they don't talk a ton about, like, clothes or... I don't know, like, it's not really shoved down your throat that it's a historical piece, so even if you're not, like, a historical fiction person, you could still check this one out. And as far as the story goes, so it's a mystery. It starts out with a girl who is on her way to a island where her father was last seen because he has disappeared. I think he'd been like 2 years since he had disappeared, and so she was trying to find out what happened to him. She, in the course of this, like where she's going back to, it's where her younger estranged sister also lives, so she meets up with her. And when she was a child, her and her sister were involved in a crime where they are discovered in the woods very close to a dead body of an apparent suicide who had like fallen off a cliff or something like that. And the sister that you're mostly following lost her memory. She had no idea what happened. But when she goes back to this small island to find what happened to her father, she discovers that the same thing that had been happening then, which was the reason why they were there, her father was a detective trying to solve the case of these missing women. When what happened to her and her sister happened in the past, it seems to be happening again, and there are a lot of missing women. So she is trying to solve the mystery of what happened to her father, and it rolls into her also trying to solve the mystery of what's happening to these women, because that was clearly like he was trying to solve that case, and it just all like lumps in together. She thinks that whatever happened to him sort of solves both mysteries. There's really good family dynamics of her and her sister, the things that they do that, you know, she lies to her sister trying to protect her, or the way that she sees it is protecting her, and of course it backfires. And so I thought that was really well written. And again, I think the part that was so interesting about this was that it was historical, but it didn't feel super historically. Like a lot of historical fiction, I feel like it sort of beats you over the head with the fact that this is not this time period. But this one, it just glosses right over all of that, and you're more focused on the character development and then her trying to solve the mystery. That's it. I just had the 3 books. Usually I have more, but again, I just haven't wanted to do anything. And we still have a plenty long video, so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to clean up my mess, put away the bobcat here. I don't know what gender the bobcat is, so it's just them. I'm gonna put up the bobcat. Thank you. I hope that you're not too weirded out by my lovely discussion of all the weird things, well, some of the weird things in our house. Yeah, please let me know what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.